Ameuza airport. Ameuza nani?
Ameuza Muhindi. Yaani
Muhindi gani?
Sijui kwa Muhindi. Lakini huyu Ruto lazima aende nyumbani. Aende Kalale. Mmoja hajauza airport. Mwingine hajauza airport. Nani? Huyu hajauza airport. Kwani anakwenda kuuza airport hapa? Yeye nani?
So sasa tunaelekea airport.
Tunaelekea airport pale.
Sawa.
Sasa tunaelekea airport. Arudie airport hapa.
Today, it's more painful than last year was. Number one, as I speak now, there's a Kenyan who is unable to access healthcare services because Chief SHA has failed. Number two, William Ruto has attempted to bring in Adani Group into Kenya. Adani has now been indicted by the US. In fact, there's now a warrant of arrest on Adani. Number three, the killings of Gen Zs. We lost over 67 Kenyans. To date, we've not seen accountability. Number four, we have abductions going on in this country. Number five, we have the botched Haiti mission. When it started, this was a US-Kenya mission. A mission that now we are told is now the burden of the Kenyan taxpayer to pay for it. We didn't have any interest in Haiti. In fact, as it is today, there is not even a single coin that we trade between Kenya and Haiti. Why should we send our police officers and spend our own money on an Haiti mission? Number six, we have extradition of foreign nationals. Kenya has now turned to become a playground of foreign mercenaries. Number seven, we have a parliament that has failed. These parliamentarians, these ones, were cancelled by the people of Kenya on the 25th of June 2024. Just because they don't listen to the voice of the people, they don't represent the people who voted for them anymore. They now represent the executive. These parliamentarians ignore the voices of Kenyans and decide to go the route of William Ruto or Kenya Kwanza. They've lost their mandate. Number nine, we are witnessing a total collapse of the Kenyan economy as we speak today. More people are losing jobs. In fact, companies, most of them are now declaring redundancies. The only group that seems to be declaring profits are banks. And banks are declaring profits because they are trading with the Kenyan government on odious debt. Number 10 is the issue of odious debt. These ones have overseen a collection of illegal debts where you are seeing debts being taken by Kenya government that are not applied to any particular project. And parliament is quiet. And when you talk about Eurobond, that Ruto managed to avoid the debt distress. No, the Eurobond was before at 5.6% interest rate. They did a refinance at 10.5% interest rate. If you thought the problem was paying interest of 5.6, you went and took an interest rate of 10.5. So you actually exposed the country more. Number 11, we have a Supreme Court that seems to be out of touch with the people of Kenya. What the High Court, what the Court of Appeal passes, Supreme Court seems to have its own constitution. Number 11, we have a legacy of lies. William Ruto should say, I'm sorry, I have failed you. I have not lived true to your constitution. I tender my resignation as your president. Can you choose somebody else who can live by your constitution? It is not me.
Also, you've been asked to apply for the PS.
I want to respond to all of them.
Yeah.
You know, Professor Jenda, Mheshimiwa Nelson, Charles here, Neutral, all these people, none of them uses Chief SHA. All these people qualify, and they have a very comprehensive medical cover from Parliament that even if Ojenda has a cold, Ojenda will be flown to South Africa to the best facility to treat his cold. So they are here telling Kenyans how great Chief SHA is. Why can't we have this debate at Kenyatta Hospital or Mbagathi Medical District? You go and see what Kenyans are going through. You know, don't be con men, because what you are doing, I'm sorry to use that word, my apologies, you're not con men. I was looking for a better word. Don't try to gaslight Kenyans that this thing is good, it's working, it's good for you, when you and your family, you've been covered under a very comprehensive and very comfortable cover. And I like when Professor Netanyahu speaks. He says his main problem is Chief SHA. It's something that the people are feeling. He's speaking from the ground. But these three wants to make it appear like everything is okay. Willis is just a whiner. You're just a complainant. I mean, I'm not complaining. I'm in WhatsApp groups of many Kenyans today who keep adding me, asking me to help raise funds. In fact, people even tell me, don't even give us the money if you don't trust us. Just go to a facility and pay for that directly. We will appear there to get cover. So don't try to tell Kenyans that Chief SHA is good, that it will be better. Tell Kenyans that Chief SHA is messing up their lives, and your administration has failed to come up with a workable redundancy period to make sure that the transition from NHIF to Chief SHA does not cause a loss of life. Because those who died in between, even if after 5 years or 2 years Chief Shah works, their lives will never be recovered. Their lives they're gone. So you should have worked with the dynasty period to make sure that at this transition, we don't lose lives. Then the second thing you people talk about, that we've not defaulted in our debt. Look at the Constitution. What are the first charge? First charge of the Consolidated Fund, number 1 is debt. Number 2 is county. Number 3 is pensions. Those are the first charges. Pensioners have not been paid now more than 5 months. Is that not a default? It was a first charge. Counties, the fight is still going on. They are the ones begging for counties to be paid even as we speak. Is that not a default? Look at even some of the debts, the SGR debt.
It's not default, it's delayed.
No. It is default. The default simply means
the
fact that at the point when it is ought to be paid, you've not been paid. You've defaulted, even if you cure it subsequently. So there is already a default. But at what cost? At what cost? You are overtaxing Kenyans to pay for illegal debts. Debts that were taken without following the laws of this republic. Debts that were not applied to any project finance. Banks have given us 5.4 trillion shillings in the last 12 years. Where is that project that is worth 5.4 trillion shillings in Kenya today? That you can tell us, we borrow from the domestic banks 5.4 trillion. These are the projects that those 5.4 trillion finance. It doesn't exist. And what did Parliament, yourselves, you don't even know what you approved. You people approved in 10 years of gender, at least you are not there. You approved 2.2 trillion. How was the debt 5.4 trillion in that period? In fact, today, you're telling us the debt is almost 11 trillion. So even Parliament, you need to do your work. You seem to pay more focus and attention on politics than doing your oversight duty. You don't even know that when you pass the Appropriations Act, how much have you approved for the government to borrow? This year alone, in terms of development finance, in your own Appropriations Act, was 300 billion. And of that 300 billion, your president goes out to say, I'm going to borrow 1 trillion because you rejected finance bill. Where did you, as Parliament, pass that you are going to borrow 1 trillion? Because borrowing must get parliamentary approval. You need to understand and do your work as parliamentarians. Then I want to say this. If the economy is good, as you seem to imply, of course, for some of you, the economy is very good. And I look at your faces, you are very bright. Ojenda's suit is a brownie suit, is shiny. He is wearing a golden ring. Charles is looking at his best.
Are you naked?
So
Are you naked, William?
No, the economy is very good.
No,
let me finish. You'll have your time. Please, relax. You'll have your time. The economy is very good for you three. Yeah. But for the Kenyan out there, we should be having this conversation at Jacaranda grounds, so that we meet the real face of Kenyans as we are saying, Kenyans, your economy is very good, you've avoided debt distress, you have jobs, you are doing well, hallelujah, Hosanna, Jesus is coming. That's the only thing you are waiting for. The real situation on the ground that Kenyans are going through. The real situation. Okay. So I'm saying this.
Yeah.
When we talk about the sufferings of our people, about the economy, families are sleeping angry. I was just yesterday with the University of Nairobi student who was telling me at the School of Economics alone, they admitted 3,000 students. Only 500 have reported in this academic year. Why? Because they are not able to afford. Majority of them have been forced to defer their studies. They cannot afford the school fees because you are told for you to report, you must pay the school fees full, 52,000 shillings per semester. And 52,000 shillings, that is for accommodation, and the school fees is 150,000 Kenya shillings. And HELB is only giving them 20,000. If you're lucky, you get 40,000.
Okay.
And so let me say this.
Yes.
These
briefly.
Problems that Kenyans are dealing with are real life problems. They are facing them every day. Let's stop pontificating.
Okay.
I'm not saying these things to attack you.
No,
I'm saying these things so that you can internalize them, and when you go back to your offices, you make sure that you do that which the Kenyan people expect you to do.